The creative energies of several generations of artists have contributed to the building of Nigeria as a nation, and indeed Africa. Notable amongst these revolutionaries is Prince Tunde Odunlade. Tunde Odunlade is an internationally recognized print and textile artist who is recognized for his Batik art tapestries and designs. Born on the 26th of November 1954 in Iremo, Ile-Ife, he is a tremendous creative who presents art and culture in an authentic way. I am currently in his gallery, the Tunde Odunlade Art Gallery in Ibadan, and I'm privileged to have a conversation where he would be talking about his art, the intersections of talent, purpose, and the metrics of success as an artist, and even more. In this long but insightful interview, you will be allowed to even experience the expression of his creativity. I am my story. You are your story. When we embrace our stories, we get a glimpse into the lives of others. We better understand ourselves and the world at large. Welcome to the Chronicles Pod, a curated podcast of extraordinary stories of remarkable people around the globe. From the world's famous to the most ordinary person, I believe there is no story too big or too small to be shared. Each episode is a story. I hope you find one that inspires, refreshes, entertains, educates, or encourages you in a beautiful way. I am Ayo Holuni, your host. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a world of extraordinary stories. Thank you so much for the privilege, sir. I like to ask everyone who comes on the pod this special question, which is, what is your story?
My story is that mankind must not remain in the state that we human beings always drag it to because of our selfishness, greediness, lasciviousness, all those things that negates the proper life setting. So I try to use my work to move mankind beyond that parochial, view of life. So that's my story.
Interesting, sir. When did you start your work as an artist?
Well, I started from when I was a child, from the day I was born.
Could you please expatiate on that, sir?
Like I said, I started from when I was a little boy, a child, and the way that happened is on the 8th day that I was born. In my family, a male child is given name or Oriki, if you like, on the 8th day, while a female child is given one on the 7th day. So on the 8th day that I was given this name, I'm Oriki, and I happen to be the only one in my entire family, as large as my family is, who has that kind of Oriki, which is Ladire. Ladire means one who makes Batik Adire or owns Adire. Ladire, Ajidagba bi ogede, Apelajo Majasan, Otile ara re ribi, Olode, Akoki, Jigbini, Biate Akun. That's the Oriki given to me in addition to my name that I brought by the circumstances with which I was born, which is Babatunde, which means I was born after the death of my grandfather. So that's where the name Tunde came from. And ever since, from a little child, I've always shown trait of an artist. Unfortunately, the high school that I went to, secondary school that I went to, we didn't do fine art in that school. The closest to how we did was drama, and that wasn't even all that encouraged. But based on my own volition, I was able to pull that off. So my colleagues in school knew that this one is going to be an artist, because when the teacher wasn't in the class, I would take chalk and start drawing, and some would say, "What kind of rubbish are you drawing on the board?" Then when I now grew up and finished high school, and I had the opportunity of meeting an artist who happens to be my auntie's husband. So I trained under him, and by and large, I registered with Obafemi Awolowo University extension workshop that they had organized outside of the university. It's called Oguntimehin Art Workshop. It was initiated by Chief Ulibaya, a German educator, and was supported by Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, but under the auspices of the University of Ife then. Now Obafemi Awolowo. Then after that, with those two training with my progenitor, Yinka Adeyemi,
Yes.
and then attending the University of Ife Oguntimehin Art Workshop Initiative, I was trained to be a bona fide artist. In other words, I had it in me, but to have talent is not enough.
Right.
You also have to sharpen that. You also have to develop the skill so that it can enable the talent to come out of you. And of course, after that, I went, having established as an artist and exposed to the world, I further my education on anthropology, art history, and so on and so forth, to get me to where I am today.
Thank you so much, sir. Like you said, talent is never enough, and you have traveled, studied, exhibited, lectured extensively within Nigeria and throughout Africa. My question is, when did everything start to pay off?
Well, let me go back to the first question you asked. Ironically, that I said I started as a child.
Yes.
But that opportunity of, acquiring the skill actually began in 1973 with Prince Yinka Adeyemi. Then, at the moment I enrolled with him, he's such a wonderful person and a great teacher. That's the moment I can remember clearly that my career as an artist started blossoming. And by 1975, 1976, I'd become a bona fide artist. And about quite a number of people who came through who supported me at the initial stage, who gave me, opportunity to express myself. Like there's one Dr. Sybil James. Dr. Sybil James actually came from Guyana in the Caribbean, and she was there in Ibadan. MCA at the University of Ibadan, Master in Communication Arts. She initiated it. And of course, she happened to be my foster mother. She happened to have been the one who I refer to as mother here in Ibadan. I'm from Ife originally. And when I relocated to Ibadan, you know, in the course of my practice, I got to meet her. And she just took me up as a child. And that, in fact, led to the first opportunity I have in traveling to the United States, you know, of America. So I enjoyed a lot of support from her, and of course several other people too, who saw that there is something in me that has to be, you know, exposed to the world. And similarly, that's what I've been doing too. You know, I've given opportunity to a lot of young folks who are now fantastic artists and living in different parts of the world. United States, China, Europe, you know, and so on and so forth. Because some people supported me, and I have to support other people. And that's part of what led into setting up this gallery where young folks can discover and have opportunity of being exposed by showcasing their works there. You know. So to talk about when did everything start blossoming, I would say from the day I started art. You know.
As an artist who has been on stage for many decades now, what's your metric for success in the art market? One might be led to believe that no artist can survive without increase in sales as an artist, because from my own perspective, that's what's playing out, especially amongst young artists.
I have never used finances as indices for my success as an artist. At any given time, even when I don't have a penny in my pocket, I feel like I'm rich because of the talent that God gave me, and I'm able to express it, and I'm able to bless the universe with what has given me. So money is needed, but it's secondary. So, but when we were growing, I know it's different from now. But in the same vein, Rome was not built in a day, but it was built every day.
Rome wasn't completed that way.
Rome was not built in a day, but it was built every day. So consistency, you know, and dedication, determination becomes the enlistment for which you remain in this profession if you are truly an artist. There is that thing that you call prophetic imperative, which somebody who is called into the ministry always claim to have. Abi, that God called me. So it's the same vein as art too. So there is artistic imperative in the art ambience that if you stay within that confinement, money becomes secondary, but it will eventually come. But it should not be the primary goal for why you want to be an artist. So any young man or young lady who claims that I'm frustrated because I'm not selling my work, I don't pay attention to them. Because I know, first and foremost, he didn't have a clue. He didn't have a clue, or she didn't have a clue why she was in the position in the first instance. So, every day of my life has always been a boom. You know, because I'm able to I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. I'm doing something that I don't see as work. I see as a way of life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know what to tell anybody who is frustrated or not enthused about what he or she is doing simply because people are not buying it. Van Gogh, in his lifetime, sold one piece and was not even fully paid for. Today, Van Gogh's work sells in millions of dollars. That's even if you see one available to buy. You may argue that, initially was a civil servant, working, earning monthly salary, and at his retirement or towards his retirement, he went into art, and his work sell for fortune today. I'm not saying you should wait till you die before your work starts selling for fortune, but do it. If it's in you, let it come out. That's my take.
Thank you, sir. You are known for these words that you do not make art for the purpose of just making art, but you make art with a purpose. What exactly do you want people to take away each time they see your work? Because the other time when I was exposed to your work, I have never really seen anything like that. I have seen batik, but I've never seen beaded batik. And beyond the bead, beyond the batik, I could see messages across them. So what exactly do you want people to take away when they see your work?
You see, art affects, art communicates, art heals, art speaks. Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's where I'm coming from. So I want people to be affected by what I do positively. And if it is negatively, it means there's something in you that you need to check out. So I practice the kind of art that I call art with a purpose. Art with a purpose in nation building. Art is a purpose as an effective means of communication. Art is a purpose as a tool for development, not just art for art's sake. If you want to do art for art's sake, okay, but me, it's art with a purpose, and that's what I'm known by, that every of the artwork that I do speaks. And I'm not saying everybody should be that. And then the other thing again is I don't stay in one spot. I hate it to just be in one spot. So I move on all the time. That is, I invent, I innovate, I bring something new to the game. I bring some new, if you like, medium that never was practiced. I'm so glad that you said when you were looking at my work, you saw things that you've never seen before. And that medium I developed. Of course, batik, which is adire by Yoruba standard.
Yes, sir.
Batik is a Japanese word, which is the current day Indonesia, but the equivalence of it here in Nigeria is adire. Okay, so I combine batik with quilt. Quilt is another medium by which people used to tell story using all kinds of fabrics, like the song by this lady Dolly Parton, My Coat of Many Colors.
Right.
That's quilting. It's a lot of fabrics that were joined together, sewn together, that are modern made to tell history, to talk about their pedigree, to talk about who they are as a people. That's quilting. So I combine quilting with batik and now beads over it. And don't forget my oriki, jigbinibi ati akun. Akun could be referred to as beads. And that's a name given to me on the 8th day. I hope you're not forgetting that. So Jibunibi ati Apun. So can you see now how all these things have come together? All these things have been, you know, an identity that it's me. You know, so beaded, batik, quilt, tapestry. That's my medium. I started out with a batik artist, then later I went to what I call relief batik, which I later call quilted batik. Then from quilted batik to beaded batik. So I combine all those. Nobody else in the world does that. I make bold to say that. You know, nobody else does that. So even in the area of print making, yes, sir, and the area of paperwork, I developed different, you know, innovation from time to time, different from the way other people do it. I don't do what everybody does. I do what's me. So, and that's part of what led to the medium that I call floatographic work on paper, which I shortened to be floatography. You know, and it's combination of batik with marbleizing, with calligraphy, you know, that all rolled into one medium that I call photograph. And my print making, I don't just print like the way other people print. I print in a way that is different from what others do. And what is the difference in my print making? I call it limited edition variable.
What does that mean, sir?
Limited edition. Cars could be limited edition. They could make limited edition car, limited edition phone, limited edition glasses like you have. That means there are X number of that type made. Maybe 500, maybe 50, maybe 5,000, and it's numbered 1 over 5,000, 2 over 5,000, 5,000 over 5,000. That's a limited edition. But mine is such that, yes, limited edition, but all the editions are different. That's why I call it limited edition variable, LEV. And that's the kind of print that I make. Not everybody does that.
That is mind-blowing. Okay, lastly, the African art is gaining more attention.
Yes.
And you, as an artist who draws deeply from history and Yoruba culture,
yes,
what are your hopes, particularly on the Nigerian art scene?
You see, the Nigerian art scene, just like you said, it has gained attention universally. And trust me, it has always been that way. Especially the traditional art. I mean, tell me a museum in the world today that does not have African art in their collection. And that has always been. From the moment the white folks had contact with Nigeria, they've always taken, or if you like, looted our art and take it to their museum. Though they come here cajole us that our art is idolatry, our art is fetish, and yet they take it over there and put it in their museum and then make it become even unaffordable for the Africans who owns the pieces in the first instance. You know, raise the value, whatever that trick is. So it has always been the Benin art, the terracotta of Ife, the Nok culture, the Ugbo art, has always been an integral part of any museum worldwide. So, if you now talk about the modern day art, the contemporary art, yes, and that in itself has always penetrated the art circles around the world, but it's just now becoming more pronounced, and the Nigerians themselves are now beginning to appreciate their own art, when it used to be that it's the white folks who actually patronized it. Nigerians are now patronizing their own art, and that makes it become more, elaborate in terms of appreciation. I mean, the likes of Nigerians who collect art, like Engineer Yemisi Shilong, Omoba Yemisi Shilong, he's been collecting art God knows how many years, and he has become the largest collector of art in the world, African art, the largest collector of African art in the world, and the largest collector of African art in Africa. So he's been to this gallery before, and then several other people who are now into collecting, because without gainsaying, I don't know why anyone in their mind will not know that art is a wise investment. Go and read about art. Mona Lisa is priceless. What is the size of Mona Lisa? It's about, I think Mona Lisa, if I'm not mistaken, is about 15 inches by maybe 20, maybe 25 inches. I don't know the precise size, but it's nothing big. If it will be available for sale at all, it cannot be less than $1 billion. So it was not that price when it first began. It was not. So it appreciates. Art appreciates. Art appreciates greater than landed property, greater than real estate. I mean, I won't mention name. A collector once bought a piece of art for 400,000 naira, and his son almost, call him a fool. Dad, you paid 400,000 for this? You okay? So months after, there was an auction, and the very piece was taken to the auction, and the son followed his father to the auction, and right in his presence, what the father bought for 400,000, they sold for 4 billion at the auction. From that day on, he said to himself, I have become a collector henceforth, and he started collecting himself. So Nigerians have to see art as investment haven, rather than stashing money away in Dubai, going to buy property in Dubai, going to London, going to all those islands to stash money there that becomes useful for the people they are stashing money with, and impoverishing their own people here on the ground. They could spend that money on art, and then it gains more value than where they have kept it. I've seen art. Okay, I will give you an example. There is that artist now in Ibadan called Oluwole Omofemi. Oluwole Omofemi, a couple of years ago, a piece that was only valued at $10,000. Recently, that piece was sold in an exhibit for $198,000, to the point that Al Jazeera did a story on him, you know, which was, this gallery was focused as part of, I don't know if you've read the story.
Yes, I did.
You know, so Oluwole Omofemi is perhaps the hottest artist in Nigeria today, and is right here in Ibadan, which is what I'm glad about, that in Ibadan we hold the ace. In Ibadan we hold the joker in our hand, because Ibadan has always been the place where it all began. Now it's gradually coming back. We are going to open gallery all over town here in Ibadan, all over the state, so people can come back and Ibadan becomes a hub of art and culture development for Southwest.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
I'm really grateful. There's one particular question that's been bringing in my heart, and that is, you are from Ile-Ife, Osun State.
Yes.
And you have made another land your own, Ibadan.
Yes.
And one of the reputable things that you have been doing in Ibadan is building an art gallery here, which is basically revitalizing the art scenery in Ibadan.
Yes.
What influenced your decisions?
You see, that's part of what I meant when I said, if you have money, either legally or illegally made, spend it within your locale. Spend it to benefit your own people. Give back to the community that developed you. Plow back. Rejuvenate. You have plowed from the community, so rejuvenate. So I've lived in Ibadan since 1976. The very day Muritala was born was when I got to Ibadan. Muritala was killed.
Oh, yeah.
February 13, 1976. And then ever since, I've been living in Ibadan. Made my life in Ibadan. Married in Ibadan. Have all my children in Ibadan. Been traveling back and forth. Lived in other parts of the world, but still made Ibadan my base. So Ibadan is the city that I know. I know Ife too, because that's where I was born. But I know Ibadan more than I know Ife as we speak. I have not abandoned my city either, because I'm from a royal family of Ife. So I know where I would abandon my city, where I was born. Yoruba say, ọmọ tó bá paliti, ó ti sọ àkóyakọ. That is, a child that abandons his source has laid down, his own peril. So to go back to your question, the influence is that I've lived in Ibadan. I have all my children here in Ibadan. I have a family here in Ibadan. I built a house here in Ibadan. And anywhere I go, sojourning or living, I still come to Ibadan. So why not give to Ibadan what can benefit the people of Ibadan and its environment, and people from other parts of the world who wants to come Ibadan for that purpose, to give Ibadan the deserved upliftment that it deserves, for being a very peaceful city, for being a very versatile state of Oyo. Why not? So Ibadan is a home. Ife is my source. Why not give to you the home?
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
You've come to the end of the interview.
Thank you.